This one is a lot of your fans want to know the detail on that. Regarding the movie Cosmos, you are the Jack Butler. Yeah, fantastic guitar battle in the movie. On the last part of the last match you played, copy your part. You play on that?
Well, the entire duel, I play all the guitars.
Oh,
except the slide.
okay.
That's Ry Cooder.
Oh, except the slide part.
Yeah.
That's
the slides.
Okay.
I don't play slide like that. That's Ry Cooder, and he was the composer for the music for the film, and he called me.
Yeah.
And brought me the script, and I read the script, and it was all laid out.
Okay.
You know, it was a duel. You know, they had to go back and forth, and it had to build. And Ralph doesn't play the guitar.
Okay.
You know, the actor.
Yeah.
So I did those crazy, you know, all that stuff. Yeah, and then myself and Arlen Roth worked with Ralph to get him to, you know, fake it. Yeah, and Ralph did an incredible job. I mean, people think that he's playing, and I still have people come up to me today and go, I can't believe Ralph Macchio beat you. It's a movie. I beat myself.
Last night you have the concert in Bangkok. How do you feel?
Oh, it was fantastic. We've been out on tour for quite a while.
Yeah.
We've done a couple of hundred shows already.
Oh,
and I was really looking forward to coming to the Pac Rim, and especially down in Thailand and some of the other Indonesia, Malaysia.
Okay.
I really enjoy coming to these places. They're very different.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's that cultures and stuff, but they're incredible music fans, and especially here in Bangkok. Last night was just fantastic. They were so supportive.
Wow.
And it was a lovely evening.
Yeah, that's all love you. Believe me.
I'm very fortunate.
Okay. Yeah, my question is, if you look back on your life, what do you think from the 80s? You play with the Sapar. You think it's good enough on that time about the first studio album, Flexible? Yeah, can you look back your life?
Oh yeah, we all can look back at our lives, and we create the stories about the past in our mind. You know, and I feel as though my whole career, my music career, it's been fantastic. You know, everything seemed to work perfectly for me. You know, I knew I was a musician. You know, I knew I wanted to be a musician ever since I was young.
It means you in the high school, you know, you're gonna be the musician?
I didn't I didn't think I'm going to be a musician for the rest of my life, because I don't know anything about that.
Yep.
I just knew that I loved music.
Okay.
I just loved it. I liked writing it. I liked playing it.
Yep.
And that just never ended. And everything that I've gotten into, whether it was Berkeley or Berkeley College of Music, and then right from there into Zappa. I mean, can you imagine? 20 years, 18 years old, and I'm working for Frank Zappa. And I joined his band when I was 20.
Wow.
Toured with him. I worked with Frank for like 5 or 6 years. I mean, it was fantastic. I loved his music. I liked that environment. I mean, it had challenges, you know, but I don't feel as though I should have made other decisions. I never felt that way. And then when Alcatraz came along, it was a perfect opportunity.
Yes.
Because I loved metal.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of eyes on that band because of Yngwie. So it was a perfect kind of a way for me to introduce myself into the rock world. Yeah. And then right from there to David Lee Roth. I mean, how do you get a better gig than that?
Yes.
I loved it because Dave is kind of a quirky guy. He's kind of a funny, quirky guy, and so am I. I'm very quirky. We have a weird sense of humor.
Oh, wow.
And I say weird, but just kooky. But we're fiercely talented. That band.
Yes.
So I got to play with really great people. Billy Sheehan, Greg, Matt Bissonette. Everybody was. I was always surrounded by great musicians. Then that led directly into Whitesnake.
Yeah.
Which was, Whitesnake was another great opportunity. I saw it as a wonderful opportunity to remain on the big stage, play with great musicians. I mean, they were all and really, nice guys, great guys, and that's very important. But David Coverdale. As having standing alongside him as a lead singer, it's an amazing opportunity. But all of that stuff was fine and good, But ever since I was a kid, I had a particular creative impulse for a particular type of music.
Okay.
It's
different from.
You could hear it in Flexible.
Yes.
My first record. It's just totally
very unique.
And then Passion and Warfare. So when it came time to do Passion and Warfare, I felt like I had had enough of other people's music, and it's not that I was fed up with it.
Okay.
I stand by all that stuff, but it was time, and I couldn't have been luckier or happier, because Passion and Warfare was so well received.
Yes,
I had no idea. I didn't expect that.
You expect that before?
No, not at all. I mean, I liked the record.
Yep.
But there was nothing like it at the time. When I handed that record into Capitol Records.
Yes.
They had in the previous year or so they had released Avia Musicom by Eric Johnson, and that was huge. And Surfing with the Alien was out, so that was like the guitar records.
Yes.
And then Passion and Warfare, it's so different. I handed it into the label, and they actually said, "We don't know what this is. We don't know how to market it. It's not Eric Johnson. We're not going to market it.
Okay.
And we're just going to put it out. And and your advance that we were going to give you, we're going to cut it in half."
Oh, okay.
And I said, "Okay, goodbye," and I left that label.
Okay.
And good thing I did, because I signed with Relativity, and the record blew up.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was a perfect time, it felt to me, to relaunch my solo career. And it worked great, and I'm still doing it.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, regarding on Alcatraz. Before you is a Yngwie, and you come to play the Yngwie part in your style. How on that time?
Yeah, well, that was a challenge, right?
Yeah.
I had a particular technique.
Yep.
And it wasn't a great technique. I could play very fast, but I picked like over the neck. But I picked every note, because with Frank,
Okay.
I could play very fast, complicated things, but the tone wasn't great, because of the way, just the technique.
Okay.
So when Edward and Yngwie came out, and people like that, all of us guitar players are like, wow.
Yeah.
This sounds amazing. What are they doing? How does it sound so good, So I knew that I needed to up my game with my tone,
Okay.
And that didn't necessarily have to do with the amps or anything like that. It was in my head, in my technique. So when the Alcatraz gig came along, I didn't think I was going to, get. It's the only gig I ever actually. There's only a few gigs I ever auditioned for, where I went in and played with other guitar players.
Okay.
Yeah. So after I left the audition, Chris Impellitteri. You know Chris. He's
Yes,
just
yes.
Crazy.
Yes, he's so
chops,
fast.
And he sounded just like Yngwie. And I said, okay, well, there's their guitar player.
Okay.
But surprisingly enough, I got a call and they said, we want you in the band.
Oh.
And they had 3 gigs left
Oh.
with that were contracted when Yngwie was in the band. So I had to learn the whole set. I had one day to learn the entire set.
Okay.
And I did my best.
Okay.
And I did the first gig.
Okay.
And my style was still kind of that, But after that, there was a period of time when we started to work on Disturbing the Peace. I completely changed my style. I really I changed the way I picked.
Okay.
And it required relearning a lot of, But my tone improved dramatically.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
So by the
very
time I got to Dave Roth,
Okay.
I had a new plateau to move from.
Yeah. I just know you record and play with the Public Image Limited. Mm-hmm. Yeah, is that the punk band?
Yeah.
On the 1986 or something, yeah?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how come?
Bill Laswell, who's
Okay.
a fantastic producer. He was producing
Okay.
Public Image Limited,
Okay.
which was John Lydon, Johnny Rotten from the
Okay.
Sex Pistols.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we had a mutual friend, and Cliff Coltrari.
Okay.
And Bill said to Cliff, "You think you can call Steve, see if he's interested in this?" And of course I was, and I got the music, and it was very amazing. It was so different because Bill Laswell was doing this thing. We had Ginger Baker.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of great musicians, and he was doing something that had an African rhythm kind of atmosphere, traditional cultural African music. And this was fantastic because those kinds of grooves and stuff, and the way that they create the harmonic structure, it's different it's not punk, it's not rock,
Okay.
it's not, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So they built this record, and I'm trying to remember. Scopolitis was the other guitar player. And he was a great guy and a great player.
Okay.
And he did some of the rhythm parts, but they had asked me to come in and do the guitars. And it was great. I was on tour with Alcatraz, and I had to fly in. I only had a half a day.
Okay.
And I did one half day and then another half day. And I did it all. And it was interesting because it's just a coming together of a lot of different ingredients. Because you've got Ginger Baker.
Yep.
And you've got an African style musical atmosphere. You got John Lydon. And you've got someone like myself and Bill Laswell. It was a really wonderful. I mean, you hear people trying to mix various styles, like I'm going to bring classical music into jazz, and then you get something that sounds like somebody writing classical music on top of jazz, and it doesn't really work, But Bill Laswell was able to create something with that record that really worked.
Okay.
And I'm really happy I was a part of it.
Wow. This one is a lot of your fans want to know the detail on that. Regarding the movie Cosmos, you are the Jack Butler. Yeah, fantastic guitar battle in the movie. On the last part of the Laugh Matthew played, copy your part. You play on that?
Well, the entire duel, I play all the guitars.
Oh,
except the slide.
okay.
That's Ry Cooder.
Oh, except the slide part.
Yeah.
That's
the slides.
Okay.
I don't play slide like that. That's Ry Cooder, and he was the composer for the music for the film, and he called me.
Yeah.
And brought me the script, and I read the script, and it was all laid out.
Okay.
You know, it was a duel. You know, they had to go back and forth, and it had to build. And Ralph doesn't play the guitar.
Okay.
You know, the actor.
Yeah.
So I did those crazy, you know, all that stuff. Yeah, and then myself and Arlen Roth worked with Ralph to get him to, you know, fake it. Yeah, and Ralph did an incredible job. I mean, people think that he's playing, and I still have people come up to me today and go, I can't believe Ralph Macchio beat you. It's a movie. I beat myself.
And on that movie, story is like selling the soul to the Satan.
Yeah.
Do you believe on that? It's just
Selling your soul to the devil?
Yeah, to the devil.
Well, there is no devil.
Okay.
There's only your bad judgment. You know, at least this is my perspective.
Okay.
You know, there's the ego. You know, the ego is that part of us that is in fear. You know what I mean? And whenever you blame somebody, whenever you judge somebody, whenever you attack anybody in any form whatsoever, whether it's physically, whether it's emotionally, or whether it's just in your own mind, you've sold your soul to the devil.
Oh, wow.
And I use that term. Another way to put it is, you've succumbed to the weakness of your own ego. You've succumbed to fear, because that's what fear is. It's at the bottom of blame and judgment and all of any negative feeling that you have. Underneath that, it's just fear. And a lot of people equate that with some entity, like the devil, you know. So no, the crossroads story of selling your soul to the devil. I don't believe any of that. You know, in a literal way. In a literal way, you know, like I've really, you know, I secretly signed a contract, and now I get fame and fortune, but I got to burn in hell, you know, whatever.
Okay. Yeah, okay. That's it. About your answer. And then about your song, your composition, you have one song, the name is Bangkok. Yeah. And the first sound is B or mosquito, or you remember that song?
Yeah, those are bees.
Oh, it's B.
Honeybees.
How come? It's Bangkok, not a lot of bee.
Well, this is a funny thing what happened.
Okay.
I didn't write it.
Oh.
Yeah, Bangkok is from the Chess, which is a musical.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So it's a very interesting story. It's Tim Rice and the writer from ABBA. They wrote it for the musical Chess. So it was interesting because whenever I'm on tour, I write. You know, in the past, before computers and everything, I would just write all the music. You know. And then I'd get home after a tour and I'd have a stack of music and I'd go through it and I'd say, oh, there's something nice. You know, I think I'll record this.
Okay.
And I found this piece of music that I wrote on David Lee Roth tour.
Okay.
At the beginning of Eat 'Em and Smile, you know.
Oh.
And I was like, I had all the parts. I had the drums, I had everything. So I said, okay. And I recorded the whole thing. And I made it the first movement of the Fire Garden Suite. So it's this huge piece of music. And after I recorded it and mixed it and it was going to be released, I was playing it for a friend of mine.
Okay.
And he said, I see you recorded Bangkok from Chess. And I said, what are you talking about? I wrote that. He goes, Steve, you didn't write that. I'm like, what do you mean I didn't write it? Here's the music, you know?
Okay.
And he goes, no, that's from and I'm thinking, well, they must have stolen it from me. That's how, you know? So he goes, you better go out and buy the record. Like, right. So I go out and the record's like old.
Okay.
And I put it on and I'm like, I remembered what happened. I was on tour with Dave Roth.
Okay.
And he gave me a cassette.
Okay.
And he said, learn this little piece of music and teach it to the band.
Okay.
So that you could play it in between changes of the set, because we were doing like playing these drums and stuff.
Okay.
And I said, okay, so I transcribed it all, and we never ended up doing it, and I threw it in my pile.
Okay.
I didn't even know it was from Chess.
Oh.
So when I heard it, I was like, no, that I didn't write it.
Okay.
So I had to get permission.
Very funny story.
Yeah. And I've been asked before about why do you have flies in a song called Bangkok? You know, some people were a little upset about that in Bangkok, you know, and I'm like, no.
Oh, okay.
No, those are bees.
Okay.
Because I like the way they sound.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it grows and it builds. They're not flies. Yeah, and then it grows into the song Bangkok, which I unfortunately didn't write because it's a really cool piece, but I did a great arrangement of it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the song, your super famous song, For the Love of God, what is meaning? You have a meaning on that?
It's a song of appreciation.
Okay.
And gratitude.
Okay.
And longing. Yeah. I've always been a seeker after truth, you know.
Okay.
I'm one of these people that always wanted to know what's going on.
Okay.
You know, like, what is going on here? You know, what it's just, you know, what? You know,
Okay.
I was one of those people that always felt, okay, I didn't design this body, and I certainly didn't make it. I was just put in it, you know. So I always was kind of trying to figure that out, you know. I guess it's the eternal question, you know. So through that, I started to, I discovered the study of spirituality, you know, the spiritual practices. And it really resonated with me.
Okay.
So within that, there's a lot of emotion, you know, because now you're seeking for what is God, you know, and trying to find this out, you know, like what is it? So there's this longing, because instinctually I knew that there was a place in me and in everybody that was completely void of any fear, of any anger, of anything, and it was free from the world, so to speak.
Okay.
You know, when I say free from the world, I mean you free yourself in your own mind from feeling like the world has any power over you. You know, because it doesn't in reality, unless you give it your power. So the song For the Love of God came at that period when I was passionately seeking, you know. So when you write music, when you paint, when you write poetry, when you do anything, it reflects your state of mind at that time. You know, and this is our expression. You know, whenever we are doing anything creative. So for me at that time, For the Love of God was it was a reflection of my deep yearning for truth. And that's what came out.
Okay.
And of course, I wanted to shred.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Okay. Okay. And do you believe in God?
Well, I mean, you have to be more specific. You know, do I believe in God as an entity that's separate from who we are? Like something that's separate? No. No. God is the light in which you see the awareness that you are. I think we can't fathom or intellectualize or discuss. It's sort of like a fish in water going to the other fish. What do you mean water? What is this that I hear about water? Everybody's saying that it's surrounding you and it's in you and it's everywhere. I don't see water. You know, that's kind of like...
If you be a fish, yeah.
Yeah, so do I believe in God? I don't use the word because it has so much baggage. You know, God is not something that's separate from you. You're not separate from it. It's not outside of you. So this is something that can be discovered when you're a guy or a person that wants to know what's going on and you look hard enough.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's clear for me. Okay. And how about Hydra? Is really talk of the town, your guitar and your music? Yeah. Which one came first? Your music came first? Okay, I decide this guitar, or guitar came first, you decide the music?
No, it all came in one download. You know, it took years because it started out with seeing Jimmy Page play a double neck.
Yeah, double neck.
You know, and then I started making, I was totally fascinated with multi-neck guitars, and I started having many made, but at one point, it all kind of came together that I want to create an instrument that can carry an entire piece of music. So I needed a bass, I wanted 7-string tuned down, 12-string, harp strings, guitar synthesizer. It's a very complex instrument. And I was in a position where I could have it built.
Okay.
Because the people at Ibanez were totally into it. So the idea came, and it was to have an instrument. And I knew I needed first and foremost a nice piece of music. It had to be a good piece of music with a nice melody, you know, because otherwise it's a gimmick, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And I could see myself in my mind's eye playing it, you know, navigating a melody and all the different things, and it just became an obsession, sort of, you know. So that's passion, you know. So then I took 6 years to have the guitar built. And then when I finally got it, it took me a year before I started playing it, you know, because it was frightening, you know.
Oh, wow.
But then when I finally sat behind the Hydra, I spent 6 weeks writing and recording the song. And then it took me a month or so to be able to stand up and play it with the waist strap. Yeah, for the video. Because I knew I had to make a video because it had to be seen.
Yes.
To be understood and for the entertainment value. It was very difficult to stand and play it, but I got it to that point. But now that we take the Hydra on tour, I don't stand and play it. It's on a stand. Yeah, because it's too dangerous, you know.
Yes. I think it's a very good idea. Put on the stand. You play. I never see you use a wireless guitar.
Yeah.
Why?
I've tried, and I've
like?
tried, and I've tried, and I've tried, and I've tried, and I've tried many times with every system out there. And I've tried the best, and I've tried the newest, and every time it came along. And at times it was okay, you know, it could work for me, but there's always a price to pay. You know, there's dropouts, there's the tone changes a little bit. And for what I do, I don't need to be that free.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Okay.
So you just plug in to the cable, and there's you know that it's going to work.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it's going to sound
Yeah.
the way it should. I'm not opposed to using wirelesses under the right circumstance. Like going out into the audience or something, or if I'm on a big stage with a rock band, running, stuff like that. But not, you know, my show, I can use a cable and it sounds the best. And it's the most dependable.
And regarding the kid playing guitar, you know, in the YouTube, in the everything, he's very good now, maybe the 10 years old. And what do you think, how this, like a 10,000 guitarists have their own place to be in the future?
Well, playing an instrument,
Yep.
sort of, you know, like the guitar, there's two components. There's the technique, and then there's the creative imagination.
Yeah.
Okay? The technique gives you the ability, it's the foundation for your imagination expression.
Okay.
Yeah. They're both important, but you have to find the balance, you know? And the technique side is easy
Okay.
to accomplish.
Okay.
You just have to practice,
Yeah.
practice, and you have to want to do it. Okay, so when new people come into the world and they open their eyes and they see, oh, this is what's going on. So this is where I'm going to start. You know, they think technique-wise, they have examples of extraordinary playing. You know, maybe if they were starting to play in the 80s, they'd come into the world, there'd be Edward Van Halen, Alan Holdsworth, Lee, Satriani, Yngwie, you know, all these guys. So they go, okay, that's where we're going to start. So then you just put the time in, and you can become incredible. You could be a 10-year-old.
Okay.
And a 10-year-old can connect, they see, and it's like a video game. You know, they can connect. But the other component isn't something you can, you know, it's something that you have to be born with.
Okay.
You have to be fearless with your imagination.
Okay.
I don't really hear much of that. I see a lot of fascinating, unbelievable chops and talent.
Okay.
But when it comes to lighting me up with things that are melodically and harmonically fresh and new, grooves, time signatures, production, atmosphere, musical atmospheres, connecting deeply with a note, you know, connecting with creating melodies that are exotic, unique, abstract, inspired, and brilliant. Nope.
Oh.
Nope, I don't see it. It had a little bit here and there, a little bit here and there. But one person will come along soon.
Okay.
I hope soon. Like you know, because it always happens. You know, Beethoven, or you know, you go all across. Jimi Hendrix. You know, somebody comes along that totally breaks down all the barriers.
Yep.
Of technique, of imagination, of style, songwriting, all of these things. That's different than a fascinating 10-year-old that can shred. They're both fine.
Okay.
They're both great.
Yep.
And one day, one of those 10-year-olds is going to discover the depth of their freedom with creating other than fast notes. You know what I mean? And then you're going to see some real sparks fly.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, very good advice. What do you think is it? Oh, now I'm a 60.
You hear it all the time from people.
Okay.
I still feel like a teenager.
Nah.
You know,
Okay.
It's like you don't.
Yeah, I
you
think-
don't really. Every now and then, every few years, I'll sit and I'll stare in the mirror and I go, "Oh, that's what you are. That's what you look like now.
Okay.
Oh, your face is starting to melt a little bit. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like the person inside
It's the same.
has changed, has matured, but is still. I'm happier now than ever in my life. You know, I just love what I do. I have a lot of great friends. I have an incredible family. I love the music. I have the freedom to do whatever I want. But I always did. Everybody does. It's you know, it's all according to how you choose to look at it. And I don't mind age. Of course, there's certain things that are challenging, you know, and I know they'll become more because it's just age. It doesn't mean that you're irrelevant or that you're not productive, you know, or that you can't bring good into the world, you know. As long as you're alive, even if you're very sick, there's somebody you can help. And sometimes the best that you can do is just a good thought about them. And that is enough.
It's a positive thing.
Yeah.
Last question. 3 advice to be the greatest musician like you.
Be friendly with yourself.
Okay.
What I mean by that is don't be so hard on yourself.
Okay.
You know, don't worry about the future so much.
Okay.
Just enjoy what you're doing. So that's one. Be good to yourself. Number 2, support your fellow artists and people. Support them instead of in your mind condemning them for being better than you or what you believe is less than. Always remember that there's people helping to pull you up and you're helping to pull somebody else up.
Okay.
And that's a great responsibility. Yeah. Number 3, don't do anything that doesn't feel good to you to do.
Oh. Okay. That's
Yeah.
it. Uh-huh.
It's a tall order,
Okay.
but you have that right.
Uh-huh.
And don't be afraid of making decisions.
Okay. Yes. Oh, very good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Right now it's 25th. My Overdrive guitar magazine.
Yeah, I saw
Can-
this. Boy, you
yeah.
guys did such an amazing. That's one of the most beautiful guitar covers I've ever seen.
Yeah. Can you do the greeting for it?
Hey, folks, this is Steve Vai. Look at this, what Overdrive did. This gorgeous magazine that they've worked so hard for so many years is now 25 years old, and I want to congratulate them and thank them for doing such an amazing job here. For me and for all guitar players who love the guitar, this magazine is fantastic.